So how to look at a painting? How do we do that? I mean, it seems like a pretty straightforward question, so it should have a straightforward answer. And generally speaking, I would say it does. But at the same time, this book that I'm going to talk about, I think is still very much a worthwhile read. So welcome back, guys. My name is Shane Hall. Today I'm just going to talk really quick on a book that I really like. Is How to Look at a Painting. And I think this book is good for those that are acquainted with art history, those that aren't so much acquainted. It's about 15 bucks. I can get it on Amazon. It was written by Justin Paton. I've actually had a little bit of correspondence with him in the past. Really nice guy. He's a Kiwi. He's the curator of international arts at the Museum of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia. If you're from Australia or something like that, make sure to pass by there. I'm sure it's absolutely wonderful. But this book it's pretty straightforward, but the prose and just Patton's style is really enjoyable to read. It's a really quick read, only about 120 pages or so, but it's definitely insightful. And I mean, even if you don't learn anything as far as like your interactions with painting so much, it can help you at least become more acquainted with some other artists. He talks about Caravaggio a little bit, and he does mention definitely some artists he's more acquainted with, which does include lots of New Zealander artists, which is interesting. And I mean, when I first read it over a year ago, I wasn't really acquainted with him at all, but since then I have become a lot more acquainted with him, and he pretty much helped introduce me to that. The book is very much, how do I say this? It's very reader friendly, but it gives you a lot to think about. And I mean, like I said, it's very easy to read, but it's really enjoyable. I'm just gonna read a short section. I think it's from the first chapter too, I don't remember exactly, but it says, "A polysyllabic spree makes the point that books aren't only badly written, they can also be badly read. Paintings too are either enlarged or diminished by the quality of our attention to them. Looking long and openly at a painting is the best possible activism you can perform on the medium's behalf. What's more, it is, or should be, a pleasure." I think that looking at art should be a pleasure, and I think lots of it just happens to be with time. The average viewer, this might be a little stretched, the statistics, but average person only spends about 20 seconds looking at a painting. And if you are going to only spend 20 seconds, you might not get much out of it if it's paintings like this. This is one of my favorite paintings by one of my favorite artists, Barnett Newman. This is just a copy, obviously. I mean, for goodness gracious, I could never afford it. But this is one in 1948 that he did. And the longer you look at it and the more attention you give to it, the better you'll understand it and the more you'll get out of it, pretty much. And so that's kind of what Patton's talking about. I mean, if in that regard you might think, well, if I do that to all the paintings, I'm never gonna leave a museum, you know, and there's too many paintings to see. And I mean, and he kind of talks about it in regard to like how you're gonna pick these paintings, the ones that are gonna stick with you forever. It's a great read, highly recommend it. And if you have any questions about it, I'm sure you could reach out to him as well, and he wouldn't mind. But there's also a TV series on it that was about 2011 or so that it was made on. You can find that on Amazon as well. But hope you guys have a good one, and I hope the book helps you better understand how to look at a painting, or at least hopefully it's a good read. At least for that, I'm sure it's worth it. And sorry about the camera and stuff like that. I'm just trying something different. But my arm's a little tired. But yeah, I hope you guys have been good and this hasn't been too annoying. But yeah, have a good one. See you next time.